Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of TAY Talk, the official podcast of Talk Amongst Yourselves, the reader-run community of Kotaku.com. It's been a while since we've recorded an episode, but it's E3 again, so we figured it's the perfect time to reconvene. As always, I'm your host, DisturbedShadow, and today I am joined by...
Mortal Dictata with the BBC Home Service.
DreaPoetic, or just Drea. That works fine.
And this is SirMarth01. Just call me Marth.
E3 is happening now, or it just happened, rather. And
What's an E3?
It'll be done by the time this comes out.
What's an E3?
It's when someone tries to write EE, but they're mentally incapable and they accidentally put a 3. Come on, George.
That's not what E3 is.
3.
No, it's the big thing where they announce all the games and shit.
Well, did they though? It was mainly going.
Did they announce any games?
Well,
some people did.
It used to be the big thing where they announce all of the great games of the year.
Yes.
It used to be.
They announced some
And now it's where they announce all the big budget games, but not the great games.
they don't even do that.
They just announce things.
Yeah.
But Sony clearly woke up on the morning of the conference, forgot there was a conference, and went, "Shit, just put on what was on last year. They won't notice. They won't notice."
Wait,
It's just the same games.
Sony had a conference?
Well, it was more just.
I didn't know. I thought they just kind of gave up.
Well, that quite large guy walked on, spoke for 2 minutes, and then he played 60 minutes of trailers, and then he came back on and went, "Wasn't that great?" And everyone went, "What?"
Okay.
That was 60 minutes.
Okay, boys, why don't we put some order to the chaos? So which one do y'all want to start with?
Well, why don't we start with...
Devolver.
No.
But they won.
Nope.
Best
Nope.
conference.
Yep. Well, they did. But let's start in chronological order with Saturday. EA.
That was Friday, wasn't it?
Possibly. I don't know. Was it?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I think it was Saturday, but time zones?
I think it was
Yeah,
Saturday.
It was Saturday where we were, but I think yeah, whatever. It was crap either way. It was awful.
Well, tell us how you really feel.
What it was the jock guy who's the most boring Australian I've ever seen on anything. He looks like he takes drugs just to stand on stage. Hi, I'm here to talk to you about sports. You like sports? Well, we got sports.
Because
I love
gamers
sports.
love sports.
And you know what?
Sports for your sports on top of your sports.
And,
Can I
and
have
you know
some extra sports with my sports?
What did EA even
Absolutely
announce?
can.
Okay.
They announced
Madden 18.
Oh god! Oh no! They didn't just announce Madden 18. They announced, you know what we've been missing from Madden? It's not a decent game. It's a story mode because people want a story about playing football.
Woo!
To be fair, that's not unprecedented because
They stuck
Some
it
people play-
in actual football.
some people play what's that Sony baseball game?
MLB,
The show?
the show there.
Yeah, some people play the show for the story mode. And it's actually, from what I've seen of it, it's actually pretty solid. So I think the idea is not bad, but this is EA, so the execution will be bad. Naturally.
Let's be honest. It wasn't as embarrassing as last year where they had the the journey
Oh,
for
yeah.
FIFA.
Wasn't the FIFA one?
That was
God.
silly.
Yeah, they
Alex
announced
Hunter.
another FIFA.
Oh god! Yeah.
Of course they did.
Yeah, shocking news on both fronts. Speaking of fronts, Battlefront 2.
Crap.
Yeah, whatever.
probably
I mean, free season pass.
Better
so,
than the first one.
Already a step in the right direction.
Well, it's not a free season pass. It's free maps, but it'll be the Halo 5 model of free maps, but you have to pay through microtransactions.
You make a good point. So it's going to suck. Got it.
Well,
You don't have to pay for anything in Halo.
No, but if you watch the conference again, it was the talking about it, and then they surreptitiously went to the panel and they're like, "Gee, have you heard of the fact you can buy these microtransactions now? You should play it and buy these microtransactions now. You should do it. Go on, kids." Like, they didn't just have microtransactions; they tried to sell them in the conference.
Wow.
On that note, what else happened at E3?
It was Microsoft next, wasn't it?
What? Whoa! We're jumping ahead. We got some other really great stuff. We had Need for Speed Payback. Blah.
Oh God, that was the.
Okay, moving on.
I haven't
They
paid
took
too
Fast
much
and the
attention
Furious
to a Need for
and made it
Speed
bad.
game since, like, a long time ago.
The best one was Most Wanted.
The first one, yeah.
Or
Before they released
Underground 2.
Most Wanted, I think, was better.
I think Underground 2 was the last one they had the proper street culture, and then it just became this bizarre cops and robbers game.
Yeah, I find it so interesting that I feel like racing games back in the day used to sell a fucking console. Like, it used to be like, GTA and Need for Speed and some of the other ones. And they'd be like, like it looks so awesome, and people would like buy a whole fucking console for that shit. And now they'd be like, I'm not buying that. I'm not buying a fucking Microsoft. Like, I'm not buying an Xbox for that. I'm not fucking doing it. So it's kind of interesting how the culture has changed.
Well, that's not true because I mean, like Microsoft only have one exclusive, which is Forza,
which is pretty good, admittedly.
Yeah.
To be fair, the last Forza I played was Forza 3, but it was pretty good. I liked it.
It's like, but will people buy a whole console for that? But someone be like, yes, this is why I'm buying a Xbox One X that sounds like a S that's not really an S and shit.
We'll get to that in a moment.
Yeah.
What else came out of E3 that's even worth talking about?
Okay. Anthem, aka.
Wait, are we talking about EA or E3?
EA.
EA. Did I say E3? I meant EA.
You said E3.
Okay.
EA.
Well, no, Anthem really wasn't. Let's talk about that with Microsoft because that's where we actually saw it. Well, it was just a teaser trailer with EA, wasn't it? I think.
Was it? I'm not certain.
Yeah, I think it was at the Microsoft conference.
Okay, fine. We can. So overall, that's basically EA. In a nutshell.
Yeah, it was
they announced A Way Out as well. Apparently, some co-op Prison Break game.
That's just. It's a nice concept, but it won't work.
Fair enough.
Really?
Well, no, because back in the day it would have been 20 quid for a controller, for like PS2. Well, now it's 50 quid for another controller, and you're not gonna. And that's like the one game. There's couch co-op now, so why would you pay another 50 quid for one game?
But it does have online.
I'm like, but I feel like they're trying to like reignite the couch co-op type situation because now we have online games. Like on one hand, the online revolution has been great because it's like, okay, well, I can have friends everywhere. We don't have to be next to each other to still play with each other. But I feel like that was one of like the biggest, like one of the greatest things about video games. It was like, hey, come over to my house so we can play whatever fucking game it was. It didn't matter. So I think I can appreciate what they're trying to do. I definitely understand the, do I want to drop an extra $150 for an extra Elite controller for somebody to come over to come over to my house and play?
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's. I mean, it's a nice concept, but it doesn't work in reality, which is a shame because it looked quite good.
Yeah, but I kind of hope that it succeeds, honestly, because I miss it being that way. But I also feel like, if you're playing with somebody else that has the same console as you, tell them bring their own shit. Listen, bring your controller.
Yeah, true.
It's true. And similar on that note of extra controllers, that's one area where Nintendo's managed to succeed with their, split controller design with the Switch. So they've got that going for them.
Yeah, we'll get to them eventually.
Yeah, we will.
We've got a lot of other things to talk about first.
Yes, like Microsoft, because EA sucked.
Is Microsoft next?
Yes, Microsoft is next.
It's not much of a step up, is it, though? Jesus.
So they announced the Xbox One X, Xbox X, triple X, lowercase x, capital X, box X.
Extreme.
Elite.
Yes.
Can I just say, straight out, both of the code names for the PS4 Neo and Scorpio, much better than the retail names.
Absolutely.
No one wants a PS4 Pro. Ooh, I'm a professional. Fuck off. No one wants to. No one wants to go. Can I have a PS4 Pro, or can I have an Xbox One X?
Yeah, I can agree with that. I don't think you'll find any disagreements in here.
It sounds like one of those old dolls, like a Stretch Armstrong you'd get for kids. It sounds like one of those stupid names. The Uber Super Soaker 24S.
I mean, personally, I do want to say I'd like to buy an Xbox One X, 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 Q, R, X, P, T, X,
And
awesome,
they'd be like,
Elite,
what the
Mega
fuck are you
Super,
talking about?
Ultra, Mega Super, Turbo, Ultra Edition.
Pretty much. Pretty
The
much.
what-
It's definitely a mouthful. That's for fucking sure.
The one thing I did notice about it, though, the acronym does spell Xbox.
Yeah, that it does.
But that's gonna be it's gonna be like the Four Candles sketch.
Doesn't
what do you
it
want?
technically spell
Four candles.
Xbox?
It spells Zox.
It wouldn't be
It's
nice.
XOX.
Why didn't they call it the Xbox One R?
Mm.
It wouldn't be confused with S, and then you got a nice, easy to remember shortened name for it. Xboner.
They definitely could have called it probably anything else except for what they chose to call it, and it'd probably be a better decision.
I'm telling you, because we just have, we could have even had the X-Bones for Scorpio.
The
Yes.
Xbox warehouse stocker, because it will never
Anyway,
leave.
names aside, what do you think of the console itself?
Pointless.
I think the bragging about vapor chambers is kind of dumb, because that's just a standard aftermarket cooler,
but
essentially.
vaping's cool now.
No,
We all
like,
love to vape.
if you've ever seen an aftermarket CPU cooler, you ever see those copper pipes sticking out?
Mm.
Those are vapor chambers.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
just
same thing.
yeah, but it's the same thing. It's just selling it under a new name, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's from a business point of view, it's pointless. Like completely pointless, because look at the PS4 Pro. No one's bought it. Like I got a PS4 Core for I think it's like $250. $250, because that's about $300 before tax. And I got that Uncharted 4 edition, so it's game, controller, core console. And they're like, oh, no, because you want the Pro edition because they'll bring out new patches. But no one's brought out new patches. Like, Horizon runs at a solid 30 frames at least on it, which is good. I don't see the difference. I still got it. I can do it all. So, what's the point?
Yeah, like I'm like so I don't know if because I think most of the people in our Discord or whatever play on PC and all that. So as well as on consoles, and I think that I exclusively play on console and mainly Sony, but that don't really make a difference because I don't have a PS4 Pro. I'm not buying an extra thing. So I was like, you all haven't given me a reason to want to upgrade it, because I think the number one issue for both the Pro and the Xbox One is that you need a 4K TV. People can sit here and try to say what they want to. Is it native 4K or whatever the fuck else? I'm like, that doesn't matter if you don't have a 4K TV or a 4K monitor. It can be native or not, or up-res, whatever you want to call it. But if you don't have the display in order to see it, that's also not going to help the situation either. And I don't know, I guess for me, I've never really been into what a game looks like. It needs to look nice, of course, but I'm like, I would rather that it run well, and I would rather that the game just be a good fucking game. Because there's been plenty of pretty games that have been shit. Final Fantasy 15. but I'm like, I don't need to see just something that's pretty. Where are the fucking games? And to be quite honest, I honestly thought that the Scorpio was going to be Xbox's next console. So they surprised me by not being that. I was pretty sure they was going to be backwards compatible, but I really thought they was going to be like, okay, well that's cute, guys, but we're kind of moving it along because we've lost this generation all the way. So we're just going to do what we can do. So they kind of surprised me.
Point one, that Final Fantasy thing was a game? I thought it was just a menu for my local Chinese restaurant. But two, both of them have sort of kneecapped themselves because it's clearly they want to do the next console, like you say, but then they can't because it's too early to do a next console. But then they screwed up by launching the earlier console so early because of the Wii U, which they all thought was going to be a competitor, and then they made absolutely nothing for it. So, but they've got, again, no games. What did Microsoft actually show that wasn't a PC indie game that's already out?
Yeah, that was the other thing, because I don't really play on PC, so I'm not really familiar with their like what's it called? Their Windows Share, whatever the fuck it's called. I don't really know what it's called, but I'm like, can you really call it an exclusive if people who play on PC and on console are like, well, why would I need to get a Xbox anything? I can just have my PC and have a PS4 because they actually have exclusives. I don't need an Xbox One. So I'm like, they also shot themselves in the foot with that, I guess, at certain points.
Well, to make your solid counterpoint, the reason why you don't want an Xbox One instead of to play it on PC is because if you play it on PC, then you have to deal with the Windows Store and your game's taking up like 100 gigabytes each. And it's like, way to go, Microsoft.
Yeah, but
you brag about this being on PC, and you make it the worst possible experience on PC. Good job.
That's the thing, though. Most of the games they showed were on Steam. So it's simple, even though Steam's a blood-sucking company who I fucking despise. But, like, the few games they have on Xbox that are now going to a PC, it's so bad that no one wants to use it on PC.
Now, mind you, when they do eventually make it to Steam, they sell, and they do all right. The ports themselves aren't necessarily all that bad, generally speaking. It's just everything wrapped around the Windows Store.
It's the presentation of it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's just unpleasant.
Yeah, but I know. I think Phil Spencer's doing a good job as the head of the company, because he's clearly trying to get PC there.
Yep.
Like, unlike what was his face before the wanker who went off to join, what was it, King, or whatever the mobile company was. Like the guy who initially sold the Xbox One and he did a terrible job and then immediately quit the company. I can't remember his name.
Remember.
Does it even matter?
No, Don Matrick.
Right, that guy.
It's your TV and your DVR and your cable box all in a games console with no games. Thanks, Don. I'm really going to buy that.
Yeah, like so with that, like that, am I being sad? Like, because I think one of the sad, like the kind of sad things about Microsoft, A, is that they actually turned it around, like, and they actually have sold quite a respectable amount of Xboxes in whatever iteration that it is. So it's not like they completely bombed this generation. I guess it's just in comparison to the PS4, it's like, oh, well, what the fuck? You got outclassed by like a whole. They pretty much doubled it, but but I think the Xbox turned it around to still make it profitable. But at the same time, like when they started talking about doing mid-generation consoles, it was it was to compete with PC. But to me, I'm like, I don't see why a console just can't stay in the box that it's in. I'm like, get the upgraded graphics kind of stuff to make it easier to like port games over and to do to emulate and things like that. But I'm like, it's not a PC and it's never going to be a PC. Where like it's just not going to happen. Like but that was allure. That was kind of the point. It's like you can pick up a fucking plug and play box and go about your business. Now they're talking about, oh yeah, now you can change out hard drives. I'm like, I'm not doing that shit. That is not what the fuck I picked up. I'm like, that is not a part of my console life. I just want the disc to just plug it in, put my disc in, and go about my business. I don't want to build a PC, or else I would have built a PC. So I'm kind of like, they need to get that shit together. I don't know, like they need to fix their marketing with that, because we don't know. I don't know that they sell consoles at a loss anyway. So I'm like, so how much money have they lost trying to invest in these next generation consoles?
Well, Nintendo's Nintendo.
Yeah, Nintendo's always been the exception.
Well, it's always a con, isn't it?
Yeah. Regardless, I do like the idea of the mid-generation console thing, especially if it means what everyone has been kind of hoping it means, and that it's no longer going to be traditional generations, but rather just like
upgrading.
Every year's an upgraded version, and eventually you're going to get rid of your support for the original version, and you just have like a cascading support system where
it's more
where the minimum supported is moved to the next generation as the new one comes out. So like whatever replaces the Xbox One X and the PS4 Pro, when that comes out, you'd start to see support for the original Xbox One and the PS4 fade away. and just continue to do that again and again, I could see that being a rather successful way of doing it. And I think people would prefer that if it did happen. The problem is, I don't think Sony or Microsoft are going to be able to pull that one off.
Definitely not.
Question. Do you think that this was them trying to make an upgradable console? Because obviously that was sort of where everyone thought it would go. You know, you just prefer a new part every now and then. But do you think they tried to do that and then it just sort of failed in its outcome?
Personally, I don't think that's what they're going for, like the upgradable console, because you're not opening it up, you're replacing it.
But that's what I mean. Like, maybe originally that's what they wanted to do, but then they sort of rushed to meet Nintendo's competition because they thought it was going to be the next big thing, and it wasn't, you know, with the Wii U. And they're like, shit, we got to put something out this year, next year at the most. And then it's just failed spectacularly. So now we've got a console that's meant to be better, but then can't be better because it's still strained back by the fact you have to use my old 2013 Xbox One. Has to be able to run anything that you get on your high-end 2017 Xbox One X.
But another problem with that is that it's kind of high-end on the one end. Like, the GPU is actually pretty nice on the Xbox One X. And the PS4 Pro's GPU is actually still pretty solid too, don't get me wrong. But we're still dealing with Jaguar cores. We're still dealing with this old bulldozer architecture AMD CPUs that are designed for netbooks. Not even low-end laptops, but netbooks. These are the CPUs in our consoles. And you're running them on the Xbox One X, the highest clock we're getting is 2.3 gigahertz. This is pathetically low. This is really slow. And we're seeing companies saying that they're not going to do 60 FPS on console because this isn't fast enough.
So what you're saying is they should put better processors in consoles.
Yes, they should have. And we're stuck in this interesting situation where if they want to upgrade them, they're going to have to replace it with something Ryzen-based or something from Intel, in which case a lot of the optimizations done for the original Xbox One and the PS4 won't necessarily work out on Ryzen because it's a different architecture. So you're stuck in this situation where you can't necessarily guarantee that gradual transition can work. So
they'd have to make a new console generation before
exactly.
they can do that.
So I think the problem is they tried to do it, but then with the realization of that hitting, this might not work out.
And then they were kind of boned.
Yeah, I think everyone just realized, wow, we really screwed ourselves on this one.
So basically the PS3 situation with its stupid cell-based architecture.
Yeah, except for this is a commodity architecture. This is still x86, so for the most part, it is going to be similar, except for if you're going into the nitty-gritty details. Like if you're optimizing specifically for the processor, which you do on a console.
Yeah,
so
and that's probably true, but but I feel like let's say that at some point they figured out with both the Pro and the Xbox X that they can't do a modular console in this generation. I feel like console gamers are kind of conditioned that once the generation is over, that we do get bumped up into a brand new thing. So I don't think that if they had to start a brand new generation in order to create the framework for a modular console, no matter which one of them did it, I think that we would adjust to it just fine. To be quite honest, I think that the only, of course, caveat would be, of course, people I want to have backwards compatibility or some type of emulation, which I don't get rid of my hardware, so I'm I pretty much keep everything. So I'm if I really still want to play PS4 games, I can still plug in my PS4, so plug in my PS3 and do whatever I need to do if I really want to. But I think that most console gamers will be able to deal with it, especially if they package it we had to do a whole different thing because we're trying to do a whole different concept of the future of consoles. And I think as long as they keep the price reasonable, console gamers will probably just go with it. to be quite honest.
I'm still against the idea of calling it modular console because it's not modular. People aren't going inside and changing out parts. It's just a full-on replacement.
It's like how Apple does iPhones.
Yeah. And that's actually a great example because Apple does continue to support the old releases for so long, and then eventually they drop them.
Yeah, but that's just standard software modeling. Like Windows did the same, didn't they, with XP and everything?
Yeah, but they're trying to transition that to that being the way consoles do that too.
Well, not really, because while they still supported them for a certain amount of time, they didn't try to keep them as equals, which is the issue that Microsoft and Sony are doing, which is they're trying to keep the Xbox One equal to the Xbox One S, equal to the Xbox One X, which doesn't work. Eventually they have to go, this game doesn't work.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Buy a new fucking console. You scum.
Yeah, like,
I mean,
and I think that, and then I think that was, in a way, that was a flawed logic that they tried to use in order to get people to buy the Pro and the X, to be like, oh, well, look at what this new thing can do. And that was why you would want a brand new console, because you'd want it to do something that your old shit didn't do. So you're like, oh, yeah, it's better graphics. It runs faster. The games can fit on one disc. It can be bigger. It can be blah, 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 blah. Like that's like the whole draw of wanting a new console in the first damn place. But the reason why I didn't want a Pro, and probably why some people aren't getting an X, is because they're like, okay, so you can't even guarantee that the game will run at either a smooth 30 or at 60, or that the graphics will be great without me needing to necessarily change my TV or anything like that. You can't guarantee that. So why would I pay an extra $200? Because let's not, shirk that shit is $500. You want me to drop another $500 on a console that can do the same shit that the one I already have can do? Nah, I'm not doing that.
That's what I love. It's right. We can't hit barely on some games 30 frames per second at 1080p. So we've created a new, more powerful console. All right, that sounds fun. But we're going for 30 frames at 4K. Who the fuck has a 4K TV?
To be fair,
some people do.
2 points. One, 4K TV costs. You can get a 4K TV for about the same cost as a PS4 Pro or a Xbox One X.
Yeah. So why would you spend $1,000 just to get some more pixels?
You're not wrong.
Some people care about it.
Some people care about it. It'll
It's
work
like the
for some.
VR argument. It's the VR argument. You can get VR, but by the time you factor in a computer, you're at like $1,000, $1,500. It's some people will do it, yes, but not enough to justify the cost.
Not enough people, and that
it'll get better as time goes on. It's going to get more affordable.
Eventually.
But I think
we're not there yet.
Yeah, we're not there yet, but it will.
They did it like a bit prematurely. We can get a 55-inch LED smart TV for $400 now. We can get get a big ass TV that's a pretty damn good TV.
Yeah,
right? But then you go to 4K, and then it starts going back up to 7 and 8, like the old big screens used to do.
You can get a 4K for like $500.
All I'm going to raise is everyone's saying 4K and VR, especially Sony, which we'll get onto it probably later. All I'm going to raise in that as the prosecution is 3D gaming.
That's not a thing anymore. Sorry.
That's the point. That's the point.
Yeah.
Like Killzone 3. 3D gaming with the PS Move. Like probably 2 people played that.
I think one of my friends was one of them.
Kill him.
That's morbid.
I avoid him.
Regardless, he clearly has more money than sense, and you could get that money.
He definitely has more. Well, I don't want to say he has more money than sense, but he doesn't have a lot of money, nor does he have very much sense either.
Well then,
regardless,
anyway.
You were saying can't do doing 4K 30 instead of doing 1080p 60, and as I said before, they're CPU limited. The original Xbox One is 1.6, 1.7, 1.75 gigahertz.
Oh, cool! Yeah, I think ridiculous.
And the original PS4 was 1.6 gigahertz per core. That is going. If they're having trouble consistently doing 30, how are they going to do 60? This isn't a GPU limit thing at that point. That's a CPU limit. And as much as the Xbox One slaps extra GPU power into it, they're still stuck with this low-end CPU. And at a certain point, you can't just throw more GPU power at the problem. You're going to be CPU limited. And
can I throw the console at the problem? Like my big brick of an Xbox One, can I throw that at the problem? Because it might kill the problem.
I mean, it might kill the devs, which would be the problem. Actually, no, the publisher would probably be the problem.
Yeah.
See, you can do 60 on those consoles. You can, and it's perfectly doable. Some games even do it, Rocket League or that. The problem is you can't do that while also having all of your other fun special effects that everybody demands in the games.
That's one last thing that reminds me, right? The new Xbox One X, whatever they call it, is heavier than the original Xbox One.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but isn't it smaller?
Yes, it's 50% the size.
Yeah.
So it is going to have some serious cooling issues, even with the vapor chamber.
It's just the vape machine's going to be such a problem with heat. Will this be Xbox 360 all over again?
The Xbox One was the same, wasn't it? Like I got a day one edition.
Was kind of like that. Yeah.
I got a day one edition, and I had to return it on day one because the day one controller, the left trigger didn't work.
Wow.
And I've just had to repair my Xbox One version 1 controller because it turns out how they hold down the thumbsticks on the inside, there's a little bit of plastic that's meant to hold it tight, but if it moves a little bit, it causes the thumbstick to break, so you have to rip out the small bit of plastic, thereby voiding your warranty on the controller to make the controller work.
Well, shit.
Good
I haven't had
job,
any of those
Microsoft.
problems.
But anyway, I think we've spoken enough about hardware.
I've had a good run
yes.
with my console, so
Let's talk about...
I just want to say I've never had an Xbox overheat or anything across
Yeah,
all of them.
me either, to be honest. I have a 360, not launch model, but I think I bought it like right before the Elite was announced, or at Xbox 360S or whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah, one of the upgraded models.
We had two of the core originals, as in the very first cores, and then one of the Xbox 360S's, and only one of those original core ones broke. We didn't share in our family.
Anyway, we've run the hardware
Microsoft
discussion into the ground.
Yes.
What else did they announce besides the Xbox One X?
PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds.
Yeah,
woo!
That game's out on PC already, though.
Yeah, they announced
console. Console.
They had 43 games, and only one was a new announcement, and that had just been announced at the EA conference just before it.
So wait, can we discuss the really kind of ambiguous language that they were using, like they were saying the Xbox exclusive, Xbox launch exclusive. I was like, what the fuck does that? What does that really mean to the point where they had to write articles about? Well, this is what this actually means, post conference. Yeah. But that was just an observation that was kind of annoying. But anyway, continue.
But it's the only game they announced was Anthem, really.
Yep.
Everything else, they re-announced Crackdown 3 from 4 years ago.
Yeah, but Terry Crews was everything.
Well, you know what else they re-announced?
Terry Crews.
Minecraft.
Oh god, that can go and fucking die.
But 4K Minecraft. That way you can see the chunky pixels in 4K with all your extra pixels to look at the pixels.
I'm sorry, I have to raise a point on this. I put that on fucking Kotaku, man, and someone genuinely came back and said, because it will be better for anti-aliasing. Who the fuck cares? It's a 16-bit game. Why do you want anti-aliasing to be good on a 16-bit game? It's like you want HD to watch the fucking... I don't know, what's that show about the little kid who did all the fashion shows? You know the one, the child beauty pageants in America, Honey Boo Boo. Why would you want to watch that in HD?
Well, who wouldn't want to watch that in HD?
Exactly. So you wouldn't want to play. You wouldn't want to play Minecraft in 4K either.
Some people do.
But I do.
Yeah,
I do.
and
I
those
really
people
do. You
should
know
be-
me.
Yeah.
I-
Well, maybe if you're playing on PC and have modded the shit out of it, but that's
Well,
about
I'm
the
fairly
only
certain
reason.
the PC version already supported 4K.
Yeah,
from,
so it's
probably
like-
from the beginning.
Yeah, I
I'm
know.
sorry. I genuinely believe if you want Minecraft in 4K, you have voided your right to live.
Oh well.
Unless you've got a PC, as the DS said.
No,
Yeah.
no, no.
Which
Even
is-
then, because then you'll be PC master race, and then you really deserve to be shot. Like,
So,
well
like,
then.
so I'm not going to sit here and like shit on Minecraft, considering how much it's sold. But I think the way that they had like the lady come out and be like, it's in super duper 4K. I wanted to hurl my remote at my TV. I was like, oh come on. I was like, come on, baby, don't do this. This is who are you? No, I was like, Microsoft, y'all wasted it. But
Anyway.
I think wasted is a good description of Microsoft.
Right, I am going to shit on Minecraft because one,
Well then.
two things. One, most of their features are mods. They've taken
Yes.
mods and then turned them into paid features. And two, that HoloLens thing didn't show up. Wonder what happened to that. The future of gaming. Remarkably quiet on that front, aren't they? After pushing that like shit last year. You can wear another headset that makes you look like a tosspot.
Anyway.
Other games at Microsoft. Assassin's Creed Oranges.
No, it was lemons, mate.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
I thought we were talking. I thought we were going to talk about Anthem.
Oh, we can do
but-
that too. I think we're already done with Assassin's Creed Oranges.
It looked crap. End of story.
They announced it. What a shock! What a twist! Moving on.
It's an Assassin's Creed game. It's going to play like every other Assassin's Creed game.
Yep.
The only thing that can be interesting about this one...
But it's in Egypt.
Yeah, but that's why it could be interesting, because you could enjoy all the racism complaints.
Oh, motherfuck.
Like, you know that's just going to get so many complaints when it comes out. Like,
Yes.
Remember Assassin's Creed 3 with the Native Americans?
Oh, good.
Yep. It's going to be fun.
That's the whole
See,
thing.
I want to get off Mr. Bones' wild ride.
But here's the thing though. Like you won't hear that from the Black community. You're gonna hear that from everybody else. Because I feel like what's happening is that like with the push for diversity and not just in race, but like with women and homosexual characters, things like that. I feel like the traditional or target gaming audience is feeling inundated with with what they'll call a social justice warrior infiltration into their gaming situation, and I'm like, well, I don't think that's it. I think the developers just want to tell a fucking different story. So that's not really what it is. But okay, like you can be mad.
This is delving dangerously close into politics.
I mean, like, well, hold on, pause. If you go into into a lot of gaming websites comment section, that's what a lot of people are saying in there. They're like as a matter of fact, Gita did something on the Beyond Good and Evil trailer, talking about the hair texture of the girl like with the monkey.
Oh yeah,
how it's awesome that we can now show different textures and curls. People are through this comment section like, why does that even matter? She's like, I'm just glad we had the technology so that y'all can stop making shit look like dreads and other things look like shit. So I just want to just praise that for a second. But people are pissed. People are in their feelings about it for whatever reason. But that it's a part of the narrative because you're telling stories about people. So how can you not have some of that stuff be in there?
Well, I think what we can take away from this is that gamers love to complain about shit. And they'll always find something to complain about.
I will fucking fight you about my right to complain. I'm going to send a fucking complaint.
He's British. That's all he knows how to do.
And also drink tea and be miserable.
I'm all for it though, because I think that the dialogue is important. And I think that most gamers just want to play good games. Like I just want the Assassin's Creed game to be fucking good for once, instead of just into the trash that it's devolved into. It's like, can we please? have a good fucking Assassin's Creed game. Come on.
I'm sorry. All I want is Yves Guillemot to stand behind me in his little French accent and go, "Give me more money for microtransactions. Go on. More. Pay for that hairstyle. Pay for that colour."
Speaking of which, was the Beyond good like in the trailer, good in the Evil trailer at the Microsoft conference? I don't remember.
No,
Wasn't that
we'll
the
get onto
Ubi
that.
conference?
Ubisoft.
We still haven't finished
That's
Microsoft
fine.
yet because we
Well-
go on these tangents.
Well, it's just Anthem now, isn't
Well,
it?
what is there even to discuss? There was
Anthem.
Forza,
Yeah, what-
Anthem,
what is-
blah,
Anthem.
indie games. Anthem, it's Destiny, but EA.
It's Destiny
But it
with
does
Attack
look
on
good.
Titan.
It's Destiny with Attack on Titan and Pacific Rim.
Yeah, I don't think it looks very good. I'm
I
sorry.
saw
'cause
it, and I was immediately like, "This is Destiny," and I moved on because I lost whatever.
It's not that. It just BioWare. The last time they tried to make an online experience, it was Star Wars: The Old Republic, and then they realised they're not very good at online, so they moved back to making it as single player as possible.
Well,
And then EA happened.
yeah, like,
EA?
well, what didn't they?
Oh no! This
you mean
this is
EA
after
became their publisher?
No,
Well,
they
didn't
were
they
there
end up-
the whole time, but just saying, like EA was like, "Yeah, you're trying to go back to single player. Let's try multiplayer again. It's a good idea, right, guys? Right?
I think-
Right?
They said the Anthem was going to have a single player campaign too. Like they just didn't really focus on it, but this
Just
is going
like
to have one.
Destiny has a single player campaign,
Yeah.
right?
I
Does it?
played it single player. It was the most boring £40 I'd ever spent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Destiny
but
was
Destiny
the
didn't
biggest
start with one. Wasn't the
disappointment.
problem?
It was just disappointing, in my opinion.
I just think it look.
Right.
Everyone looks at it and it's like, oh, look how amazing it is. It looks nice. It looks very nice as a game, Anthem. But what's the story? Like that trailer said nothing. It
That's-
literally just demonstrated 4 minutes of drop in, drop
Well, they
out co-op.
just announced it, so I think we could give it some time to see what it's about first.
Another
No,
thing they
future
announced.
trailers.
You need to give me everything day one, and then give me 6 months to complain about it. And then if it's not how I complained about it, then I'm going to fucking send a complaint. I'm going to buy it, and I'm going to return it, and I'm going to complain about the fact I can't return it because I took it out the box.
Spoken like a true gamer and a true British person.
Woo.
You know what else they announced? No Man's Sky 2.
They did.
No.
No. Oh,
Oh my god!
you know,
Oh my god! You know how many articles would have came up? Like what the? Oh my god! It'd have been.
Anyway.
it'd be
Anyway.
fine. It'd be fine. Jason would have delayed it. It would be safe. But anyway, there's one notable absence from the Microsoft conference.
Halo.
Halo.
Yes. No mention of Halo at all.
But what about
Yeah,
Gears?
Oh.
Oh, that was gone too. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
so
Well,
what's
they
Microsoft
literally just released Gears 4
Did they?
last year.
got? Oh,
Well,
wow.
Judgment, right?
No,
Yeah.
Gears of War 4 came out last year.
Okay.
I own it. I haven't played it yet.
So
Well, like, and they,
basically
and
the
they
only
also announced a whole
exclusive they
bunch of
announced.
indie-
Yeah, but like,
Mm.
it's weird that Halo wasn't there, considering that's
Yeah.
like their big
Well,
thing.
Well, it's the year they usually have it every year, like at least an announced trailer.
Yeah, I was
But
surprised.
they've had nothing for the last 2 years about Halo 6. So I kind of think it might have, after Halo 5, they've scrapped it and they're starting again.
Yeah,
Maybe.
like,
Wait a second.
Well, the thing about Halo 5,
Are you saying like reboot Halo?
no, just
They're just massively rewriting it because, let's be honest, even though I personally enjoyed Halo 5 because I thought it took it in a new direction, most gamers hated it
Yeah.
because it turned the blue sexy lady from a goodie into a baddie, mainly, it seems.
I just
like-
felt like I like that they were trying to take it a new direction, but the story kind of felt ham-fisted to me.
Well,
But
they
gameplay-wise, I loved Halo 5 a lot,
yeah.
and I
Well,
played
they
the
didn't-
shit out of the multiplayer.
Yeah, it's because they didn't take a leap, did they? They tried to take a leap with the new guys, but then they had to reel it back by having Nathan Fillion on the team, and then also letting you play as the chief. Like it never really stretched. It wanted to stay in the safe zone while also trying to seem new.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, that's Microsoft.
The only
Oh.
exclusive they announced, the only like true exclusive they announced that I think is coming out anytime soon is Forza 7
And State of the K2.
and
And that's it.
Yeah, because
Anyway.
Crackdown 3 is not coming out anytime soon.
Anyway,
Let's be honest.
we've
It's-
talked enough about Microsoft.
Yeah, trash.
The next
Zero.
the next
0 out of 10.
yeah.
Moving on to the next tragedy in
Bethesda.
game making. Yes, our true heroes at Bethesda. You wanted paid mods? We're
Fucking
back.
kill me.
Oh no.
Oh boy.
You guys wanted to buy Skyrim again? We're back.
I want to see what would happen if you asked
What's
Tom
new
Howard
with
to say anything
Skyrim
that
this
wasn't.
time?
Well, no, Todd Howard didn't turn up, did he? Is he dead? Was he asked to try and create something that wasn't Skyrim?
I don't think we're that lucky.
Well,
Yeah.
at least on his suicide, he'll just leave a note that says, "It just works."
Oh my god. You're awful.
It's fun being awful. You should try it sometime.
Well, like Skyrim's almost 6 years old now, right?
Yes, by
Yeah.
November it will be
Yeah.
6 years.
They need
It
a.
says 6 editions.
That's ridiculous.
I mean,
Oh,
it's
wow.
not quite Resident Evil 4 levels, but it's getting there.
But they've had what? 2 games? They only announced 2 games, which was Evil Within 2, which had the best music of E3 because it had the Ordinary World remix, which was brilliant, and then they announced Wolfenstein: New Colossus, which was basically set in modern day America.
That looked good. It did.
I mean,
I
they
I still
Like,
need to
yeah,
play
shit.
the last one they made.
I'm
They
just
look
now
good, but
starting
I
my
think
way
that everybody
through.
was like, I'm like, they
Sure.
look good, but I think that everybody was like, did you really need a whole conference to yourself for this? You could have easily tacked this onto whichever console or wherever the fuck it was
Yeah.
going to. You didn't leave your own to be like, I wanted the Bethesda conference. It's like, what?
But
Yeah.
Quake Champions.
oh god, that
Don't you do this.
that was the
Too
one
late.
where they got the fucking YouTubers on the video, wasn't it? God,
I
that
didn't
was
watch it, but if
Yeah, I
they
didn't
did,
watch either.
it wouldn't
Yeah.
surprise me.
that was the worst.
I just read the announcements after they happened.
Yeah, right. That was the worst thing about this year's E3, right? Because I watched all out of the conferences I watched all of them, and
I
it was
watched all of them last year.
every conference I saw had at least one YouTuber or
But
something to do with
YouTube
esports.
is where the money is made.
No, did you see the E3? Not the E3 fail, the EA fail. Sort of winding back, they had this guy, this YouTube content creator, and they got him on stage, and he couldn't say anything. Like he'd completely forgotten what he was meant to
Oh
say.
my
He just sort of
God.
stood there for 2
Aw.
minutes, sort of just going, and
And
I'm Jesse Williams, and
Oh.
Battlefront 2, and that here's developer, and the developer came in and just sort of like, why did we hire you?
Oh.
Don't feel sorry, he deserves it. Like, he's a content creator for YouTube who's shit on camera. That is your one requirement for YouTube, to be good on camera.
No, you don't.
I mean, but you're good
You
on
can
camera.
just record the
and-
game
no, there's a
and not
difference
have a
between
camera.
being
You're
presenting to a hall full of people versus talking into a camera in a room by yourself.
Well,
Yeah.
well,
That's
they
true.
actually put him behind the audience so he couldn't see the audience.
Oh, well, in that case,
Well,
wow.
what
Screw
the fuck then?
him.
They had this
So,
really weird setup.
yeah.
They had a
So,
main
Stage fright?
stage. They had a main stage, and it was like little pods of tables that people sat at. But then everyone made the announcements behind them, so everyone had to sort of awkwardly stretch over their neck to look at what the fuck was going on.
The hell?
Yeah,
so
That's awful.
what else happened at Bethesda worth mentioning?
Dishonored 2, Death of the Outsider.
DLC?
Standalone
Yeah.
DLC.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I
Interesting.
know. It was just
Anyway.
it was just a trailer. So
Yeah.
It sounds
No.
like the Bethesda conference didn't need to be a conference.
no, it was
Then we
Yeah.
got to the true winner of E3.
Ubisoft.
No. Devolver.
Oh yeah, I thought that was before Bethesda's.
No, that was right after Bethesda.
Was it?
Devolver Digital. Yeah.
But yeah, that won E3.
Yeah. They
Oh, I
won.
had the pleasure of watching it, so I have no
Oh,
idea.
you need
I-
to see
but
it.
It was
But I heard it
basically
was great though, so I was
Yeah.
like, "That's awesome."
it was a pre-recorded like 15-minute skit, but it was basically just E3 at its most extreme. So it was like decapitating the fucking people in the audience while everyone else clapped, like because they've said it was the new best way to play games, and like the guy lost his arm. It was just ridiculous,
Okay.
but so brilliant.
Followed up by
That
basically
sounds
Adult
epic.
Swim for what? How many hours? Yep.
That's just awesome.
Yeah.
It was great.
Did they announce anything?
I'm going to YouTube that later.
They didn't announce anything new, and they actually said on Twitter before it happened that they were not going to announce anything new. And true to their word, they didn't.
Did they show anything they were working on?
No,
Yeah.
That they've already announced?
But
Or were they
it
just
was
there
the
to
same
troll
stuff.
it?
Mostly to troll.
It was old.
They showed
it was,
stuff after the fact during that Adult Swim-esque
yeah, but
show.
yeah, like they
That's
just
excellence.
they just showed old trailers at the E3 conference, so they accidentally kind of trolled what everyone else did this E3.
That's excellence.
I'll have to watch that.
Yeah, the true
I will
heroes
also-
of E3.
I'll also be YouTubing that as well. That is hilarious.
So, Ubisoft.
They won it.
But PC gaming show.
No one
No,
cares.
no.
No
Gaming.
one. No one cares about the PC gaming show.
I would have no input for y'all on that one.
All I have to say is Mountain Blade 2. That's it. Everything
Yeah,
else sucked.
How long has that been in fucking development?
Years and years and years.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Anyway, Ubisoft.
Yep.
They won it.
They did.
Hands down.
Yep. They won.
They announced loads of new games. They had the best surprise of the night, which was Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Trailer. That
Yeah, but
before they even have an alpha or anything, as far as I'm aware. Right?
but it was the best announcement.
Yep.
Let's be honest.
Yeah. Well, I didn't
it's
watch,
not
but I heard
announced by,
they had.
default, though. Not because they actually accomplished anything. Just it was because everybody else absolutely sucked.
They
I
also
heard that it was at least better than some of their past ones.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Like compared to like the normal Ubi conference, it was like
oh yeah, they got rid of that
okay
annoying
instead of
woman.
bad.
They got rid of the annoying woman who made the girl with jokes.
Tyler like that, even though she is terrible. I'm sorry.
She's a great person.
Yeah. They got rid of Lana Kane.
She's a great person, but she's not suited for that role. It'd be what's his name? I can't remember the comedian in the UK. It'd be like having Frankie Boyle host CBeebies. It'd be a swearing, angry Scotsman hosting a children's show.
I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, as an adult, but it wouldn't be for the target market. That's the problem. And Aisha Tyler is not good.
I
at
think it'd be
conferences.
completely appropriate for the target market.
There we go. But yeah, it was just Eve Gilmore talking, and then some developers talking.
Yeah, I figure that's fair. That's fine because even though I do like her as a person, like, and I like her in other things that she does. I always wonder why they like bring certain celebrities out to these things. I'm like, I don't want to fucking see you. Where the fucking games? I'm sorry, no shit. I don't care who you are. Get the fuck out of here. Goddamn games.
I'd watch Tom Cruise host a conference just to see if the meds finally wear off and he realises where he is
You
and
know
what he's done with his life.
Oh my god!
God damn it.
How about Shia LaBeouf?
Oh my god!
Another. Anyway,
No.
Beyond Good and Evil.
We want games, not random
Beyond,
celebrities.
Beyond Good and Evil.
Just do it, Ubisoft. Just do it.
No. Yay conference next year, hosted by Shia LaBeouf and Jaden Smith.
No.
Anyway,
Nope.
I want this.
So Beyond Good and Evil, the trailer was beautiful. I never played the first game.
I didn't either.
So I understood, but I've been hearing about this game ever since even the first one came out. So I was just like, okay, I'm glad that they're finally doing it. However, I don't know how many people read the article after the show, where the guy pretty much said that it's not even close to being ready to be anything, and we don't exactly know what we kind of want to do with
not
it.
even alpha.
So,
Yeah,
it's not
so
even alpha.
just know that we're starting to work on it. Okay.
Well, no,
So-
they're not. That's even a lie. Then they're not starting to work on it. They scrapped everything from 2008 to 2016,
Good job.
and now they're starting again.
Yeah.
Well then.
So might not see it for another 5 years. Or
20
so.
years.
It'd be
Got
the
it.
new Last Guardian.
This is Duke Nukem forever.
But
Oh, God.
you know, they did have the most insane, what must have been the most insane pitch of E3, which was someone at Ubisoft, right, had to have called up Nintendo in Japan and gone, we want to take Mario, okay, we're going to put in some rabbits, and then we're going to make an XCOM clone.
It looked good.
And yes, it did. But somehow that telephone pitch didn't result in a dial tone. And I want to know how, because this is Nintendo we're talking about, who don't let people take videos of their own game without being sued.
On the other hand, Nintendo has worked with other developers before. I mean, Capcom numerous times back in the early 2000s.
Yeah, but true, but it's still like, it's just so the most bizarre pitch out of every project they've been given to get, except I'm like, how drunk were you at the time?
Who knows? As long as it looks good, that's what matters.
It does look really good,
it
though.
Looks very
which is very surprising.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it, but...
Yeah, it was like this left field thing that's like, I didn't see that coming. But it looks
right.
interesting.
It's insane enough to work.
Yeah.
I can deal.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, Ubisoft, you won. Good job.
But what else did they announce anyway?
Oh, they announced the game that made all the right-wing white people in America cry. Because
Far Cry 5?
Far Cry 5. You can't kill white Christian right-wingers because you're only allowed to kill brown people who are Muslim, apparently, in video games these days. Or the old-fashioned right-wing Christian nutters called the Nazis. They're also allowed. Yeah.
I mean, but I like games that are willing to tackle just
that
issues like issues that are relevant. Like, and I'm especially like religion. I think that even if you identify as a Christian, you should be like, you should be willing to analyze, tenets and things about it and be like, maybe I need to, go to like 2 extra Bible study and, process this or something. I don't know. Like, I don't think you should be like, no, because it makes me uncomfortable. I don't want to fucking talk about it. I'm like, no, put that shit in the game.
Yeah. I mean, like,
it's good to be uncomfortable sometimes.
Yeah, because what was it? Far Cry 2 portrayed the whole of Africa as impoverished scum who needed to be saved by the white man. Far Cry 3 was Polynesian cultures being turned into sex-obsessed weirdos. Far Cry 4 had everyone from the Himalayas be drug mules and making child soldiers, but that's fine. But having some crazy Christians in America, even though there are a lot of crazy Christians in America, such as the most famous group being the KKK, somehow that's bad. Or you could have the Westboro Baptist Church.
Oh boy.
Heroes. Saints.
Yeah. And I think that those things are worth exploring. I mean, like, on one hand, like I feel like if you really get in your bag about it, like, listen, like, it's a game. This isn't real. This is fantasy. However, I think that if you're sitting there thinking to yourself, what if this could happen? I think that's even a good internal, conversation to have with yourself, to be like, well, if the world does go to shit, this isn't the kind of world I want. So what the fuck we need to do to make sure this doesn't happen, or to make sure we can be better than this? I mean, get your shit together.
Like, why would people complain? It's a Far Cry game. It's a game where you can get into a fucking glider, crash it into the ground, jump out, and RPG a guy in the face.
Right.
It's not telling you to go out. Like, why? It's not saying we should ban religion, because it's a game where you RPG people in the face.
Yeah. People.
Nor is it saying that you should go out and shoot Christians. It's not saying that either.
I'm okay with that.
It's saying blow people up in this video game because it's fun.
It's saying blow up everyone.
Yeah.
And like, all of you are disposable. All of you can go. So I'm like, so it's a fucking game. Like, don't take it that seriously. Like, if it spurs something, then talk about it. But don't be like, don't make the game Christian. Blah blah blah.
But like, we're all expendable. God, this is getting too real.
Wow.
Anyway,
I don't like games. Just wanted to say.
You don't like
they're all bad.
You don't like playing games. You like collecting them.
No, I don't even like collecting them anymore. I just do it anyway.
What a depressing existence.
It's a compulsion now.
So, who was after Ubisoft?
Well, no, we didn't finish Ubisoft.
What else did they announce?
Because we got the most depressing one of all, which is Just Dance 2018.
You know what?
Moving on.
But you don't want to talk about South Park, the fractured butthole?
Oh, God, that was the worst developer interview I saw all E3. Like they tried to have this really bad joke where it was the guys behind stage and it's like, oh yeah, well we wanted it to be a really authentic experience, and as soon as someone says that, you know it's going to go to a really bad stage joke, right? So it was like, oh yeah, they wanted to be too authentic. So all the guys, they went all around the world to strip clubs and they kept sending me images of strip clubs. It was like, guys, I get it. We just want to be authentic. And I'm like, do you know what you're saying right now? You are a 40-something grown man talking about taking images of strip clubs to make a game authentic. What has your career come to?
I mean, that sounds like the career path that most men would like. So we're going to the strip club for research. It's not just a kind of sarcastic joke. Let's go. I'm for this.
Yeah, but they don't tell people about it on fucking live TV, do you? Well, unless you're Donald Trump.
Well,
that's a whole other can of worms. But we're here to talk about games.
Wait, that's what this podcast is about?
Yes.
I didn't know.
I thought it was
what am I doing here? My whole life has been a lie.
Shut up.
Well, I just hope that the game is good because it's taking a while for it to come out. So I'm like, all right, let's.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I hope it's smart along with being offensive like it normally is. So.
I think
it's not Obsidian, so who knows?
No, we've forgotten Skull and Bones.
Oh shit!
What?
Oh, yet another pirate game. Got it.
Yeah, but it's the best parts of AC4 without all the shit from AC4.
Did we talk about the other pirate game? Oops.
Oh, what? Yeah, but that was last year, and it's just more, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like you know, it's a bit. That's what I mean. That's the problem with this E3. There was way too much stuff that was stuff we've announced last year, but we didn't have anything new to show you, so now we're just bringing the old trailer.
True.
So,
fair enough.
Are we moving on?
Yes.
I think.
Okay.
That's about it. Yeah.
So Sony. There's only one thing that needs to be said about Sony.
Disappointing.
Knack 2.
What?
Oh yeah, Knack 2.
So.
Oh boy.
I think that Sony announced a lot of games before the actual fucking conference, which was very interesting. So they did they had the Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer. They had Ni no Kuni. They had some other ones too that I don't remember that weren't even on the stage, but they showed a whole bunch of the stuff that they had shown last year. So it was kind of like
that's what I mean. Like it was very disappointing because they came out the gate and it was boom, Days Gone, new actual finally proper gameplay. Boom, Horizon Zero Dawn DLC. And it's like, you know, they had and then I think there was one other DLC, I can't remember what it was, but it was another game they had that was meant to be
the Uncharted 4 DLC.
That was it.
Great.
Yeah, looked very good. And it was like, oh, they've gotten all their really big, you know, IPs out right out the gate. And I was like, they must have something to show. And then it was, they have absolutely fucking nothing to show. Like,
exactly.
what was it? They have that fucking David Cage game, which is going to be a fucking QTE-driven mess.
Hey.
That would be Detroit.
Hey, that's not true. I'm sure it'll be a great movie.
Emotions. We can display so many polygons. Shame you can't make a fucking decent game out of those polygons, mate.
I have actually never played a game by, I think it's called Quantic Dream, right?
Games.
Yeah, he did.
I haven't either.
No, it wasn't Quantic Dream. He did. What was it? It was. What was that? It was that weird superpower one. Fahrenheit. Heavy
Indigo
Rain.
Prophecy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same game.
Isn't that developer?
Yeah, Heavy Rain and what was the last one?
Beyond
Two. Oh god, that was a shit piece. That
was the shit. It was great. I loved it.
That whole game ripped off Harry Potter.
But I love Harry Potter.
No, seriously. The ending, right, where you have to choose whether you go with your family to the afterlife or you go back to the real world. Wow, where did I see that apart from on platform 9 3/4 on bloody King's Cross at the end of Harry Potter?
Wait, this one, did you say, no, it's not Quantic Dream, and then list off a bunch of Quantic Dream games?
No, I thought you meant, I thought you said Quantum Break, which is the...
No.
Yeah.
Remedy.
Yeah. I thought you said a different game, that's all. But yeah.
Yeah. So it was that game, and then it was this was the one where they did Monster Hunter, right? The Monster Hunter Worlds, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was a new one.
Yeah, but then they did the thing they've done for the last 2 years, which is the worst thing ever. Like Microsoft have their annoying trying to work exclusive into everything, but Sony's is where they flat out try to imply their games are only on PS4, and then it's revealed immediately after by the publisher. Oh yeah, it's available and everything. You had, what was it?
Yeah.
Final Fantasy did that. Ace Combat 7 did that. Monster Hunter's done that. Like every fucking conference, and they're just flat out lying.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Well, they had, what was it? Call of Duty. Meh.
Yeah, no, okay with that.
Oh yeah, the VR games where you can get Final Fantasy 15 fishing simulator, because that's why I paid £300 for a fucking VR headset. is to go fishing.
Oh my god, I didn't even know what to
Oh
say.
man!
That. I was like, okay.
Speaking of go fishing, go fish. That's it. That's what the future of VR is. Card games.
Aha. I've come up with a new recipe.
VR card games. I'm calling it. It's the
God.
future. VR poker. Why even fly people in for the tournaments? Just VR. Problem solved.
That's kind of my problem with VR. It's just
Useless.
yeah. It could be interesting, but it's either
I've seen a total of one
just
game that's interested me.
replicating
VR.
stuff in real life, or it's just an unfinished proof of concept.
Mm.
I've seen a total of one game interest me in VR, and yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's all I have to say about
It
that.
was a shooter. It was the shooter that did some neat things that you can't really do without VR controllers.
Is this the one on Steam where you have to do all the
it's-
reloads and everything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forget what it's called. It's going to bother me now.
It'll be something generic. It'll be like
Yeah,
Shoot a Storm or...
Onwards, maybe?
Yeah, that was it. Onwards, wasn't it? Yeah.
Onward, yeah.
God. What a shit name.
Terrible name. Terrible name, honestly. But the game looks rather... Well, visually, no, it doesn't. It looks visually bad.
Well, it's built
Does
in
any
Unity,
VR
so-
game look visually
Yeah.
good?
VR games all look bad, let's be honest.
Mm.
But
Yeah, like the-
gameplay-wise,
yeah,
it looks interesting. It looks good. This is the type of thing I want to see come out of VR. And the fact that everybody else is messing around with, Job Simulator?
God,
Stuff
why would
like that?
Why would you want to go to a dead-end job and then come home and simulate being at a dead-end job?
Yeah, it's-
because people are masochists.
Yeah, that's true.
so,
And a lot of those games are just they're there because that's what gets the views on YouTube.
yeah.
Like a lot of
it's dumb
VR
stuff.
is just for like YouTube.
It's a gimmick.
Stuff. Yeah, it's like a YouTube
is.
gimmick basically, instead of being a final product.
Like so many of these games, they're so obviously like a big. It'll be a big studio name, but it's so clear like the 5 guys who finished the work they were doing early, and they've just been thrown onto this side project.
Yeah.
Like Final Fantasy 15, we've had 2 VR games for it now: a fishing one and one where you play Proctor, who just was fixed in place and you just shot.
So
How?
what else?
Back on topic.
What
though.
else did Sony have?
Well, they have, like I said, they had all the VR games.
Shadow
and
of the
then-
Colossus.
Spider-Man.
Right,
Oh,
right.
Wow, so they're remaking an old game.
Yep.
Would
And
be
they're
good.
they're rebooting an old game,
Yeah, but it
Spider-Man.
looks really good though. Oh yeah.
It
No, wait.
Yeah.
looks like a great Batman sequel.
You know what? That's fair, but I feel like that they had enough Spider-Man mechanics in it that I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
people will be fine with it. Like,
Yeah.
Spider-Man is definitely more limber than
Oh, absolutely.
Batman is. So I can see that they use that, and it seems like they're going to try to use like QTEs too, to try to like simulate like quite a few things. So it seems like it's going to be interesting. Wait a minute, is this the one that did the Marvel versus Capcom thing too?
Yes.
What?
Marvel vs.
Yeah.
Capcom Infinite.
That shit. I'm sorry. That Chun-Li looked a hot fucking mess. I don't know what the fuck was happening with this graphic.
It's the
figure
world's.
that out.
It's like the fucking Mario Rabbids thing. It's a series that makes no fucking sense. It's Captain America versus Chris Redfield. What? What's Captain America going to do? Bite him in the neck?
See, that's
Big,
I don't mind.
meaty neck.
See, but I don't mind I don't mind the series, but we literally just like Street Fighter V just came out like last year, and I'm like, wait a minute, I just looked at Chun-Li's ass. What the hell is this? She looks strange, just like Dante and some of the other ones. I'm like, what is this? This looks subpar.
Yeah, I think, so going back to Spider-Man, I think the biggest problem with it, for me, it takes me out of it, is they so clearly wrote it as if they thought they were getting the guy who's currently playing it in the films to voice it, and they're not. Like, it's just some guy. You know, it just sounds like some guy they got off the street to do the voices, but it's so clearly the sort of thing that was in bloody Captain America Civil War. It's those sort of lines where he was just fighting and saying those witty remarks about what equipment they're using or their technique or, you know, those sort of lines. And it's so clearly meant to be Tom Hollander, but Tom Hollander isn't lending his voice. So it feels like one of those crappy, you know, the old movie tie games you used to get, like the Harry Potter ones that wouldn't get the Harry Potter voice cast and just be some guy playing Harry, some guy playing Draco, some person, blah, blah, blah.
Oh yeah, like the old license games.
Those were great. I loved them. Every single one of them. I played all of them.
Like, wait a minute, that's not really what so and so sounds like. That's hilarious. But but I think that Sony's last game was Spider-Man, and it looked pretty impressive.
I think it's gonna be a good Spider-Man game though.
Oh yeah,
I don't think it'll be bad, but
yeah, and I think they have the right studio to do Spider-Man justice.
What could make or break it though is those sort of, because obviously we saw in the trailer the final sequence, it was clearly on rails, and if a lot of that's on rails, a bit like the Uncharted sequences, I think it could break the game and no one buys it, because it works for Uncharted, because Uncharted is very much a film as a game. You know, a lot of it's very linear, it's very focused, it's clearly trying to imply you to do certain actions. While
Quantic Dream.
Yeah, but no, that's just taking the piss, mate. But, I mean, like that's literally, you have to fucking, that'd be like going to a film and you have to fucking edit it while you watch it. But with Spider-Man, you need the freedom. Like even the original Spider-Man 1 game on the GameCube had a lot of freedom, and if it's a lot of it's linear, then it's just not going to play right. I don't think. Like it's not a.
That's probably fair. So we gotta see what happens.
Anything else, Sony?
What else do they have? Well, Days Gone looked very good, I thought.
Yeah, but they had showed that last year. At least a trailer for it.
Yeah, they had like a 2-minute demo, but then it wasn't a very good demo. It was like the one horde chase scene. You know, you got chased through the bloody factory. Well, this showed a lot more of the dynamics, and it does look like the zombie game people wanted for a very long time. Yep. Like, you know, it's got a horde that actually looks like a horde, and not 20 bears. And zombie wolves.
Fun.
Oh, somewhat important, but not Sony exclusive nor new.
Go on.
Undertale. Oh yeah. Vita, PS4.
That's the fucking game. That's the game everyone wants to say they love if they want to see in with the indie crowd.
Still haven't played it.
I didn't finish it.
Yeah.
What I have to say about it, it's an okay game. That's about it.
Yeah.
I'm just happy it's coming to the Vita too. So.
Yep. All right.
A small part of me was holding out hope that Sony was going to announce.
Yeah,
like
but at the same time, I thought the game was enjoyable, but then it got too hard, and then I stopped playing it.
Well, you know that happens.
Yeah, whatever.
I think that was it, though.
I think that's it for Sony. Yeah. Which just
people have problems with things staying hard.
It's
okay, DS.
One last thing, if we go just roll it back quickly. I forgot to say about Ubisoft. Right, they didn't have a one more thing this year.
Yeah.
Because every year, like for the last 3 years, they've had that. Oh, and one more thing, which was what was it? It was The Division, Ghost Recon, and then it was that mountaineering game that absolutely no one plays.
Steep.
Well, the fucking price is steep, that's for sure. But yeah, like there was no surprises this year, really, was there, for anyone?
No, it really wasn't.
Well, there's one more. There's one
Nintendo.
more. Yes,
Nintendo did the surprise.
Yes.
Well, they had what was it? Metroid, wasn't it?
Not one Metroid, but 2 Metroids.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yes, 2 Metroid games. Metroid Prime 4 confirmed for being in development now. Nothing else. They don't even have any concept art or anything. There's
But
literally
it's
nothing.
going to be a thing.
Yeah.
Which is enough to get people excited since people have been starved for Metroid.
Studios. Not by Retro Studios.
Interesting.
Not the original devs. So
It's going to be a mess.
yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
We'll see.
They do have some of the people that worked on the original ones working on this.
I can't think of a single game series that when a new developer took over it went well.
Yeah, it's Metroid Prime, ironically enough, would be a good example.
Yes, it is a good example.
Yeah, wasn't that when it switched from 2D to 3D though?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
Speaking of switching from 2D to 3D, the other Metroid game is a 2D one, correct?
Yep.
oh yeah, the 3DS one, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's 3D, 2D side-scrolling, the
It's
2.5D.
2.5, yeah.
Yeah. And it's 3DS exclusive. No Switch port confirmed, so what a waste.
Seems kind of interesting. Seems like
Why would I play that when I can play Federation Force?
Why play that when you can just play a decent game?
Rude.
Because I don't like games.
No, I think a lot of people are excited about it for good reason.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
going to be good.
It looks good. It's Nintendo.
Yes.
Yeah.
They rarely screw up completely.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they don't really screw up with their games. It's been their hardware that's kind of been the question.
Yeah,
Like,
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think
That's true.
it'll be good.
What
And I
was
think
they-
from what I've seen of it, it looks like it's going to be enjoyable.
yeah,
Speaking of things that look enjoyable, Super Mario Odyssey.
you can
Silence.
almost
I
hear the
didn't
tumbleweed.
watch anything about it. Oh, I know a lot of people are really excited about it.
Yeah, it looked really good actually.
Despite
I
the
realized this is
weird,
what
like-
I've said about everything I liked. It looked really good. That's it. That's all I say. Wow, I have a lot of
Yeah.
input here, right, guys? Right?
It's fine.
But I mean, it confirms that Mario is actually the hat and not the plumber, because when you throw the hat, you take control of whatever it lands on. So you become Mario Frog or Mario Stack of Goombas.
So it's basically Jailbait Snake's hair from The Simpsons.
Yeah, pretty much that.
But
Yeah, like,
I mean, like,
it's-
there
That's
you go.
and the game
interesting.
is kind of coming out this year too, right?
I think it's like just late December, so it's clearly going to get delayed.
Yeah.
Right.
What
But
about
it also
the
has
whole...
Xenoblade Chronicles too, though.
Did they talk at all about the whole weird people in the
Oh.
Mario game?
No, I don't
No,
think so.
they didn't. I don't even think they showed anything of that. But
Like,
Yeah,
New Donk City.
yeah. That was when they first announced it. I was like, "What?"
yeah,
oh yeah,
it was really weird.
Yeah,
Like, there's no denying that.
yeah,
But this is
not,
Nintendo, so
Yeah, but-
Nintendo can pull off weird better than anyone else.
yeah, if anybody can pull it off, I think it's Nintendo.
Yeah,
And
think the
Mario, because why not?
because it's fucking Mario.
The problem with Nintendo though is the fact that they announced a load of standard franchises like a new Kirby, a new Yoshi, blah 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 blah.
A new Sonic.
But
That's
Xenoblade
Sega.
Chronicles too.
but here's the problem: there's absolutely nothing to justify why they created the Switch. Nothing.
That's fair.
Because the Wii U sucked.
Like they're bringing out.
That's also fair.
Yeah, it's a shit piece of hardware, but you might as well just kept the shit piece of hardware because it runs bloody Breath of the Wild just as well. In fact, it runs it better in some places apparently. But like,
Well, the
The whole
selling
point of
point
it-
of the Switch is the mobility.
yes, but there's no games really to justify it yet. Like they're bringing out Rocket League for the whole social aspect of it. But that's one game which you already get on everything else. But all the other games, they admittedly eat the battery life so bloody quick that it's pointless. So
Well, it's
What
good
is
for
it?
like if you're traveling.
Like,
Like,
was
oh,
it-
I'm in a hotel. I can just plug in my Switch and play.
yeah,
It's also good if you
Yeah,
need a
but-
doorstop.
but I do that with my laptop. not the doorstop. I mean, as in the going to a if I'm on traveling, I'll just get my laptop.
Well, not everyone has a powerful laptop that can run games.
And not everyone needs a doorstop.
Well, no, well, like, maybe maybe the issue is that even from the beginning, even though the Switch could become a handheld, Nintendo has consistently marketed it as a console. They're like, it's a console that can go with you. So I think that's literally how they're still thinking about it. They're like, because like you would think that put more mobile friendly games on it, just like try to make sure that they can run the best and like in both ways and make sure that the battery life makes sense. But they're like, we could like they could honestly probably care less about the battery life. They're like, just put it back onto the little dock thing and play it like the console that we believe in our hearts that it is. The rest of us are confused.
The dock that if you keep pulling it in and out scratches the screen.
Yeah.
Great design philosophy there, Nintendo. You fuckwits.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think that's my thing too. Like I don't probably because I haven't had a Nintendo console since my original Wii. I'm like, Mario is not gonna make me buy a Nintendo Switch. It's not gonna happen. I'm like, that's not gonna be what was gonna pull me over. Skyrim.
Definitely.
17 years old is not going to do it. Xenoblade, Blade Chronicles, not going to do it. I'm like, I'm like another port of Stardew Valley, not going to do it. I'm like, you have to, I don't know what game it needs for me to pick it up.
Metroid Prime 4?
We're in a situation where the most exciting game for a Nintendo console is a third-party Ubisoft game.
Yeah, XCOM.
We're now living. We're beyond the fucking Twilight Zone now, people.
Yeah, wow.
Next year, EA are going to have a good conference with no sports.
No, that can't be done. No. Wait. It can be done.
I think.
And you know how?
By not being EA?
With Shia LaBeouf.
And Jaden Smith.
There we have it, folks. Calling it EA is winning 2018.
Watch them win 2018 somehow.
Yeah. What does EA say?
Well, I think EA can have a decent conference. I don't think they'll have one without sports, though.
I mean, because EA is sports. Like, isn't their slogan?
EA Sports. No. It's in the game.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, God. Oh, what is it? Do you remember their other brand? EA Big.
EA Sports Big. Yes. NFL Street 2, anyone?
Oh, does anyone remember the bloody FIFA Street games? No, the FIFA Street games.
EA, can we bring these back, please? Can we have fun with our games again?
Can I get Def Jam Vendetta, please? Jesus.
Can I get a NHL game with a solo mode that also has a career on top, but then that career has a management simulator attached to it, and that management simulator has another career?
No.
No, you can't. I'm sorry.
And on the back end,
you're not allowed to have that. I'm sorry.
If you put in the Konami code, Konami will drive to your house, chain you to a radiator, and
sue you.
Beat you.
Anyway, what else did Nintendo announce?
That was Reggie Fils-Aimé dodging questions.
Fire Emblem Warriors apparently was announced. I don't know.
Stuff.
Really? Was that there?
Yeah, apparently. I don't know. They announced something. I don't know. Gameplay demonstrations. Yeah, it happened.
I
don't know. I never cared. Sorry. I'm not into waifus.
Oh, apparently making a Pokemon RPG.
Yeah, Pokemon, Nintendo. What a surprise!
But they're making it on the Switch. That's what's.
What a shock! I couldn't have. Yeah, wow.
Pokemon is a mobile game. Pokemon is their only fucking mobile game. And
Pokemon Coliseum, anyone?
Yeah, but that wasn't very good.
It was okay.
They're not very good.
No, I had it.
I had it too. It wasn't. That was.
Like, it doesn't work on a big screen.
I don't think it works very well at all. Period.
That's what you think.
Pokemon just kind of got boring.
You got boring.
I did. I mean, you're not wrong. So, yeah.
On that note, great podcast, everyone.
Yeah.
Wait. Like, we gotta
summarize and say that Devolver Digital won.
What was everyone's best game from E3?
Ooh, unfortunately, I don't have one because unfortunately, I mean, I mainly play JRPGs, and they didn't really announce anything for me. So,
really, a Western conference didn't announce any JRPGs.
I mean,
Wow.
I know, right?
Wow.
Tragedy, but I
What a
like,
surprise.
but I also realize that they usually never do. But I usually like the spectacle of it, and I feel like this E3 disappointed me because it wasn't a spectacle of any kind, really. So
No.
I
No
was like,
tragedy.
oh, this wasn't exciting because I still like hearing all the news, but it didn't seem like
Yeah.
this
Like
this E3 was just kind of lackluster.
yeah,
So,
last year was more interesting, I thought.
very, very.
I thought
because a lot of
E3 was
people
always
started-
boring.
No, like
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
like.
Sorry. I hate to break it to you. It's always been boring.
One year, Microsoft hosted a fucking circus.
One year, Nintendo had Wii Music.
Oh god,
1 year, Sony announced Ridge Racer.
I don't believe that. I'm
To
sorry.
complete silence. 1 year, Sony announced PS Vita would have 3G by AT&T
What?
and got some booze for it.
Anyway, so what was your game of E3 then, Marth?
Nothing. Devolver Digital wins, but they didn't have any games. If I had to pick one, probably Wolfenstein 2.
Mm.
But that's because I'm a sucker for shooters.
It's just such a good game.
It looks good.
Mm.
It looks like it'd be fun to shoot things in it, so why not?
DS?
I don't know.
Decisive. I
Yeah.
like it.
I'm not a very decisive person.
I'm gonna have to go with Metro Exodus. That looked phenomenal.
Oh
Like,
Fair
wait.
enough.
Oh wait, I did have a game. I actually liked the Detroit game because Jesse Williams in it.
Movie.
So there you go.
You like the movie?
Yes, because Jesse Williams is in it.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I mean, like,
I
Metro
refuse to call it a
Exodus-
game. It's a
Actually,
movie, interactive movie.
Thinking about it, maybe the only news that got me excited was the Metroid announcements.
Yeah, seriously.
yeah.
That was, and even then, I complete uncertainty,
Yeah.
complete unknown, and that's
But I
probably
want to
2
have
years
faith in
away,
Nintendo.
3 years away.
Oh, no. In 2 years' time,
Well, the 2D one will be out sooner.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's a remake.
I'm calling it now. Given how this year was just trailers, in 2 years' time it will just be it will be people just showing concept drawings.
Oh my god.
I think that we'd actually see more like of actual games if we saw concept drawings than if we just had more of this year.
Mm. Well, it wasn't as bad as, what was it, last year where Sony made the guy who wants to make Shenmue 3 beg on stage for funding.
Oh.
Remember that? Like 2 years ago, I think it was actually. That was nasty.
It made its goal, didn't it?
Yeah, but he had to go on stage at E3 and basically beg for money. I mean,
Yeah.
and then all of what at the same time, all of Sony's exec team were behind him, all smirking.
Yeah, that's part of Japanese culture, from what I understand. That's
Wasn't even the Japanese guys. That that Toss Pot, who's the guy with blonde hair, is quite large. He's the one who did the swapping games on with Sony PS4 video a couple of years back, where they just passed it. Yeah, it was that wanker. Like Sony are really smarmy these days, and I really don't like it.
I mean, well, like that's because they're on top, and and a part of me hopes that with the success of the PS4, that they don't go back to getting that level of hubris that caused them to launch the PS3 and shoot themselves in the foot.
Oh, they will.
They
Xbox.
definitely-
Look at Microsoft under bloody Don Matrick. Oh yeah, it does everything. It'll fucking feed the cat. It'll do the laundry. It'll fuck your wife. It does everything.
Make your popcorn for you too, right?
What is happening?
Don, mate.
Okay.
Don, does it
Okay,
have
well,
any
that's
games?
a conversation for a
You
different
wanna play-
podcast, I think.
You want to play games on your games console? What are you, mad, woman? Are you mad?
Oh my god, that's definitely a different podcast kind of conversation. But overall, I think that E3 was fine.
But it wasn't
I-
anything special this year.
I thought it was dumb.
Yeah,
But I always think it's dumb. So
and I really hope that in the coming years that while I do like for them to kind of tell us about games years in advance because of the 10-year cycle games that we've had lately, like with The Last Guardian, Final Fantasy 15, Kingdom Hearts 3, now Beyond Good and Evil, you know, these kinds of games. I hope that they stop doing that and actually tell us about games in cycles that actually make sense, so that we're not sitting here like, where the fuck is this game at?
Yeah, they don't. So they don't get the hype train rolling too soon.
So
that
you're
it
saying
runs out
Nintendo?
of steam before it gets there.
Chew, motherfucker.
So,
Runs
yeah,
out
like
on
that.
Steam?
Honestly, look, this is what, my 7th E3 now, and it's definitely the worst. Because there was just nothing.
Yeah, that's
Like that was what, Metro Exodus, Wolfenstein 2. Well, no, every game that was announced,
Rabbids.
every game but Anthem, I'd say, we knew was coming.
true.
Do we know about the Rabbids thing?
No one knew about
Didn't know about
that.
Monster Hunter either.
No, there was something about Rabbids.
I
They did,
think
'cause
there was like a rumor beforehand.
Yes.
Yeah.
They basically sort of leaked it. We knew about Monster Hunter because there's always a new Monster Hunter. We knew there'd be a new Metroid.
Yeah, but
there's
not
always a new
that
Metroid.
one. Not the Western inspired
did you just say
Monster
there's
Hunter.
always new Metroid?
Well,
No. Who said that?
That's
Oh,
a
Lord.
good joke.
Sure.
Just like how there's always a new F-Zero.
Mm.
Well,
It's
now
not
that they've gone back to
complete
Metroid,
silence.
maybe that'll be the next game fans rather
It's not-
behind.
I
not
was
gonna be a
wrong
new
about this E3. I just wanted to say my E3 predictions were that Nintendo would announce Federation Force 2 and an F-Zero free-to-play endless runner with microtransactions.
Oh.
And sadly, neither of those came true. So
Yeah.
maybe next year, guys. Maybe next year.
I didn't
Mine
make any
will-
predictions
I had
because I'm a
one
lazy
prediction.
sack of shit.
I predicted that Xbox would close their show with Halo 6 reveal.
Oh.
I mean, that would have been a smart call, but it didn't
would've
happen.
Yeah.
There's always next year.
Yep.
Oh God, is there? Can't it just end?
Like,
Well,
Like,
you're actually
I
that's
really
right.
thought, like, so,
The world might be
I'm all
over
for
by
it.
then. Who knows?
Can Trump just finally hit his stubby finger on the nuke launch and just nuke North
oh
Korea?
god.
Nuke
And
the whole
so-
planet.
It'll be gone in a final fucking breath of
Let's
glory.
nuke the whole planet.
So
No more
I really
games.
thought that
Let's hack the
Microsoft
planet.
was going to was going to revive the Fable franchise. To be honest.
Oh no, they've because they closed down Lionhead.
Yeah. Which was sad.
That was their one studio in the UK, and they closed it down.
Well,
Yep.
That was.
Well, Microsoft's just huge mismanagement
Well,
all the time.
Actually, no, that's the big dirty secret of the games industry right now. It's collapsing. Like all the major studios in the UK have gone.
Oh shit.
Lionhead's gone. Guerrilla Games' studio in UK's gone. Crytek UK's gone. Sony are downplaying their operations. They got rid of the one who made Drive Club. The only studios we have left are Frontier, who make Elite Dangerous, and Codemasters.
That's interesting.
Welcome to Brexit.
Well, there's not even Brexit. It's already
I'm
died.
just messing with you.
Hey, you want to see Brexit on speed, mate? We literally got told you're voting for who's going to do Brexit, and we went, we don't want any of you fuckers.
Works
We
for
literally
me.
we don't have a government. It's amazing.
You guys did it right. I like that.
You guys
Anyway.
should have
on that note,
All right.
I think that wraps up this episode of the podcast.
But we
It's-
didn't discuss any games.
Yes, we did. We talked
Remember,
about plenty
kids.
of games.
Do lots of drugs. Do every drug.
All
Do
right,
it.
anyway.
Normally we have a
Do
segment where we talk about what
daily.
we've been playing, but we're already at like an hour and a half long. So on that note, that's it. And
All
it's
right.
good to be back to the podcast after our long hiatus.
I'll see
You
you
mean
in 4
hibernation?
years.
Yes, and I'm not going to promise that we'll be back on a regular schedule because
You screw
That-
it over.
Ooh.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
not happening.
So next E3, got it.
Help me, please, dear God. He's got me hostage.